Damn, Paul, go make me unmute, brother. Thanks for the sub, brother. Thanks for the sub, man. We're fucking good to be here. We're live.
Hell yeah.
We're here again. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit this time.
Let's fucking do it.
Actually, no, fuck.
Let's fucking do it.
It's gonna cause me fucking PTSD.
Clout and Fets Show is great, better than the Flank Optic Pod, Game Chat, BP Pod, Coffee and Cod, Joe Rogan Pod. Whoa.
Dude,
that's great. I appreciate you, kid. Skizzy, Float.
Yeah, what's up, Float, Skizzy, Kib, all the boys in the chat. I feel like everyone's still calling piling in here a little bit. Holy.
Oh my goodness.
Fuck, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness.
Kib out here gifting subs.
Oh my goodness. Kib.
Holy
oh my goodness.
Kib. Yo, thanks, boys. Mad appreciate, man. We're kicking off the pod hard. Hard and hot. Fucking, we're hot and steamy over here. But anyways, welcome back, ladies and gents, for another episode of the Clout Fets Show. I'm joined by the one, the only, the Fetty Wap. How is Sir Fetty Wap today?
What's up, Clouter? What's up, chat? You know what? I gotta be honest. Today was a long day, but we're here. Pretty tired, but I'm excited. I got on down on one knee, ripped the bad boy, you know. And
we were a minute late because of audio issues. But
that minute late gave me an extra time to read.
Yeah. Feds got on one knee and shotgun the drink beforehand. So
yep, and I'm feeling warm and fantastic. So I have nothing.
Start with
I have no complaints. No complaints.
You know, last night was the first two hardpoint wins that Stanford's got all major. That was the first two hardpoint wins of the major for Stanford last night. So those were big dubs there. But yeah, we can definitely start and see when we get there. But yeah, no, Fets here, shotgun and beers. We had a little bit of audio delay to get us started up, but man, yeah, Fets, I guess we're at the halfway point in the major right now. Week 4.
Yeah, I believe we have finally hit halfway. I believe everybody has played about 5 games,
5-6 matches,
and we're getting matches.
That crossover phase now, where certain teams are gonna be playing out of like what we've seen in prior weeks, like Div A and Div B. Now I guess Div A and Div B will be going up against some C and D teams, so we're gonna get a lot of interesting matchups coming up on the schedule. But yeah, no, like you said, mostly 6 games in. You know, a lot of like you said before we came on, there's a lot of changes going on in the league every week. Seems like there's no consistency of who's on what rosters right now. So you know, hopefully we can get a better understanding of teams, because it seems like there's lots of moves going around, a lot of point changes going around the league. But we're all here for it. Also, I guess we had one of the matches we casted Friday with Vegas. We had a cheater allegation, which turned into a forfeit. A great series we watched there.
I mean, you couldn't have gotten better than an eventful Friday like that. I mean, to come out there, and I'm sitting there with Clouter, and I think we had Casper in there.
Yep.
And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, he probably could be cheating, but like, I don't have any. You know, I'm not on staff or have any call to make or jurisdiction. I'm not going to sit there and accuse anybody.
I was way too fried and
I was so smacked. I was like,
I couldn't even have noticed it. But
yeah, there was just no way that was going to happen. But then, like, as that game was going down, like after the map 3, like I must have had about like a half dozen people just straight up DM me, was like, "Yo, this dude centering is nothing like I've seen before. Yep. He's definitely cheating." And then next thing you know, I mean,
yeah,
it's just crazy.
48 and 18 after map 3. I was like, holy fuck, dude, this guy's
PT paid for that PC check? Wow.
And then
that's crazy.
And then I don't know what he went to map after that. It was like 30 and 8 or something like that. Like literally carried Vegas to a map 5 dub, which ended up, which was a good series for us to watch. I mean, Plattsburgh almost did it, almost was able to win that match. I mean, they won it regardless off the forfeit, but still a super entertaining series to watch for sure. But he got caught, and he's out of here.
Yeah, smoked him. We caught a cheater live on camera, Clouter. Can you believe that? Like, yeah, I felt so good about it.
On the Friday night Fetties, bro.
I was like, yeah, like I went to bed good. I was like, hell yeah, like, you know, it's just. things like it's just very uncanny, you know. It really doesn't happen with me at least.
Man,
I don't know
BT,
if
the
you come
thing
across
is,
a lot
though,
of cheaters, but then
there
I see that
too.
I'm like,
But yeah, like map 1 and 2, he was like, I think he was invisible. I think he was like, nah, man, we're not getting swept, and then just flicked them on real quick. And
yeah,
from
he turned
map
it on.
3, 4, and 5, it was just all in, man.
Dude, this shit is insane. Like he literally flipped it on. You can always tell they'd be fucking lost without the cheats. Facts, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was literally lost map 1 and 2, and then like he went 48 and 10 map 3, 35 and like 10 map 4, and then had like 17 on map 5. And I'll tell you what though, before I have moved forward, shout out for Plattsburgh, because listen, they still chowed all the way to round 11 on that map. I mean, they did whatever they could.
Like they.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
it was
the over. What was the score of the over?
unbelievable.
I can't remember what the score of the overload was. I don't think I don't know if the overload was close. I know the hard point was belt to ass, and it was mostly off. And then like you said though, shout out to them though for taking it to round 11 with a cheater on the other end. I mean, those Plattsburgh boys definitely deserve.
Oh yeah, the
that
overload
W.
was 6-0 Vegas, 6-0 Vegas.
Yeah.
So there was it was
100%.
as soon as that map 3 started, it was belt to ass for the cheater.
Yeah. But the load up last week's matches, I guess we'll do a quick recap before we get into it of some good series that we watched over the week. Obviously, Plattsburgh and Vegas being one of them as well. I think which matches did you cast on Wednesday? Did we have any what did we cast on Wednesday?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Detroit, New Jersey was probably, I think, series of the week for a lot of people.
Yeah, Miami and East Coast again was that Monday or Tuesday that
Yep, Miami.
That shit was crazy.
Match.
The East Coast with the 3-2 win, that was Miami almost reverse swept. I believe it or not. So because I believe East Coast was up 2-0.
Yes.
So that was a very, very good one. I believe Toronto was a 3-1 over New York.
3-1 for both teams.
3-1
and over Bermuda. Yeah, it was 3-1. Stanford had 3-2 against Paris. This week.
Yeah, Stanford won both their games this week. Very impressive from the new squad.
Huge from Stanford crowd. And like I mentioned to BT earlier, finally getting that dust. I guess what's the way to what's the word I'm looking for? But anyways, finally seeing some W's in the hard point from the Stanford boys was good last night over their W in Texas. Finally seeing some W's on the board. There's a few other teams that haven't seen some wins in some modes. I know S&D is rough for a few teams right now. I believe Absolute Rain is still winless in S&D. And there's a few others as well, which I can look in shortly. But yeah, no, overall, it was another successful week. West Coast having an absolute good week, going to 3-0 over Plattsburgh and then winning 3-2 over Absolute Rain.
Yeah, they're currently on a 4-game win streak, I believe, as of my sources have told me, and I've seen the information given. I believe they are currently on a 4-game.
You should check on the all-new website, constats.com, where you can see all that stuff immediately. It should be there. I'll look in a second. I can confirm that for you. But we also had a reverse sweep from New York Impact. Finally seeing them on the...
Oh, I lied. They're 3-1 in the last 4. 3-1, yeah. 3-1 in the last 4.
But yeah, no, some entertaining matches last week. Looking a lot of promise going forward. And I guess like I said for BT, we can do that. We can jump right into Div C and talk about these Stanford boys. Absolutely huge week from these guys. Heading into the match last night against I have Stanford up here twice. Hold on. I'm gonna go back for a second and fix this. But we'll talk about Stanford anyway. Stanford having a 3-3 week. Couldn't find a win in hardpoint was my big thing to talk about today, was that these guys were winless in the hardpoint, but seemed to have found two wins under the belt under the Texas squad, who is unfortunately not having the best major as of right now. So what's your thoughts on Stanford there, Feds?
You know what, man? Like I said before, the fact that Savashi is finally playing in the league, is a breath of fresh air. And not to mention that this duo with BT, I'm a big fan of tandems, and Clouter and I have seen a bunch of phenomenal tandems. duo threat in this league since BO6. Let me tell you, I think BT and Savashi could be legit here. They're 2-0. They're getting it done alongside with Arab and Tactical Reaper, which I mean, .7s and .58s between the both of Tac and Arab. But Savashi and BT are able to hold their own, and like you said, able to finally get their winner chicken dinners on those hard points this week, and that's what you need to see. You know, everything else seemed fine, and then we know how Stanford looked. Before this, we didn't know what kind of roster they'd field. I gotta give it to Arab to kind of. I don't know how the duo of BT and Savash and Sav came together. But if Arab reached out to them, this might be like a big deal. I think Stanford could definitely jump into if they keep playing like this. It's gonna come down to like how. But Arab had a 1.08.
Yeah.
Last game against Texas. Now we know it's Texas, right? But still, that's pretty damn impressive. I think. Tax won a 5.58. You know, Savage, I would say this, though. I would just be careful because you guys are approaching 1.9s and 2.0s KDs. I don't know if there's another re-rank coming up, but my God, you guys are looking pretty strong right now. But I love this duo. I love the tandem. It reminds me of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum kind of together, trying to doing their thing right now for the Boston Celtics. And again, them doing their thing right now, and it's Stanford Stonefishers. So I think they're a sleeper team now. I think they have gotten to that sleeper team.
I think if they gotta clue up the hard points. I think, and
I gotta see more. I just gotta see a little more. Right, the hard points. I gotta see them play consistently on hard point. But I gotta be honest, like I just gotta see a little more. But I could put them close to up there. I want to say like top 8, at least top 6, maybe. With this New Jersey stuff that I've seen going on, I think Stanford could easily be right neck and neck with them, if not better. But I would say right now, it's early for me. They played 2 games already with this new roster. I want to see how well they play. They played Paris, they played Texas. I want to see them play against maybe Toronto. I want to, So
and I can't forget the other team. I can check.
So I want to see them play against a little bit more top calibered, more consistent teams, especially in the top 5, top 4. In my eyes, I think they can compete still. I like Savashi a lot. I think the BT and Savashi duo, but then I think Clouter brings up a good point. It's the hard point, right? Because it really does. So I'm glad that you guys got those
up until
W's,
last night. Last night, they were undefeated in search. So unfortunately, their one S&D loss so far this major comes to Texas. But yeah, this Stanford team is 7-1 in S&D right now, rocking a 1.24 KD. And in overloads, they're 4-1 in overloads, 4-1 in overload as well, with a 1.24 KD in overload as well. So I mean, it's just a heartbreaking 2-8 right now they have in hard points. And I have no doubt that BT and Sav can really fix that hard point for them and make them a very strong team going forward. Because obviously the reverse sweep against not the reverse sweep, but the 3-2 victory over Paris was obviously a Neslo. They just won out those S&Ds in overload, and then obviously they put belt to ass against Texas last night to win those hard points. Fell short in the S&D, finally dropping an S&D map to Texas. But overall, I mean, this team is on the up and ups, and with 3-3, and obviously, like you said, with the changes that just happened in New Jersey today, I can definitely see Stanford working their way and taking the top of Div C, and whatever implications that has for them, securing the Div C title.
Yeah, I think. They could definitely take this Div C. I think New Jersey, with the changes with New Jersey right now, and then now
the
Jersey going to another
the map 5 fucking blackout, man. Just every series,
every time. That's the shit that makes me nervous. Can you imagine now with just Zorbs, Casper, Zin?
But the crazy thing with this New Jersey team is that they flipped. Because you remember last major, we were sitting here and we were harping, being like, man, if New Jersey can figure out the respawns, they could probably win the major. And they brought in four-pointer Zorbs, which was, again, which everyone knows how four-pointer Zorbs went. But yeah, brought in four-pointer Zorbs and fixed the respawn. Now it's the complete opposite. Their respawns are fucking top-notch so far this major. They have a 1.11 KD in hardpoint right now. They're 9-2 in the hardpoints. They're 3-1 in the overloads, and then when you go to the S&Ds, they're 1-9. They should be 2-9 because one of them was a forfeit win. So I don't have the
Right.
forfeits in our stat thing,
Right.
but obviously 2-9 in the S and Ds. So now it comes to the point where now New Jersey needs to work on the S and D. It seems like they had the respawns, but like you said, now they have a whole brand new roster. How is the new roster going to determine how they've played up to this point in the respawns, and
Right.
can they keep that? Can they keep that up while also bringing up that S and D that they desperately need to bring up a little bit?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I'm glad that Casper got the starting role off of OVO. Right now, OVO is I think OVO could potentially go into a relegation match.
I told you last week.
Just
last week was big for them, and for
dude,
them to go 0-2 was not ideal.
Drusen is going to a non-playing coaching role. The face of the franchise that I thought would help fill the shoes for Splashy is not able to compete in the same shoes as Splashy. Unfortunately, that is what we've seen, guys. And now Stanford is coming up right now. New Jersey with a brand new roster look. And mind you, when Clouter and I started this, like, we kind of just briefly looked at like the whole signings. I don't know if Clouter took a look at it. At least I just saw it like within the last 30 minutes, and I'm like, dude, I don't like the fact that Potato went up to a 6. Now he got dropped. And now we got a brand new look in New Jersey. I don't know.
Now, if anyone is desperate for a 6-pointer, man, or want to really shake up their roster, that fucking tater tot needs to be on a team.
Yeah.
If he's
100%, he deserves to be
a long time. It's brutal, it's rough, and he deserves to be on. He deserves to be on a roster, and starting top spot at that. He's definitely proved it in New Jersey. So,
Kato was in talks with him. I would love to see Potato start. He deserves to start at a spot. But right now, the new look New Jersey team is going to be Zorbs, Casper, Colin, and Zin. So that's what we're looking at for the new. I mean, Payne shipped house last week. I couldn't I don't know what's going on with New Jersey. I don't know if there's internal stuff. I mean, Clouder just said Los literally just went to New York. Like, it's just, I don't know what's going on over there. And I think that leadership role plays into a part. Now Zorb is going to have to has to be the one to elevate his game. He is now the face of the franchise with a Zin ownership. I mean, I've never thought to this day I've ever seen it, but now we are here where Stanford can literally take this division due to the fact of these roster changes coming in for OVO New Jersey. Texas is out. I don't think Texas could get a win. I really don't think so. I love Zila and those guys. I love them, but like I already said that.
In hell right now.
Like, I already told Andy Codd, you got to stop playing. Have Zilot play, not you. Like, don't have Andy play.
They did pick up Sleep.
Like.
And I think Sleep is a good pickup. I seen him play this last week on West Coast, and Sleep can shoot. I think Sleep is a good pickup for the Texas boys. Before we get into our deep dive with Texas, I think Sleep is going to improve that Texas roster a little bit. Hopefully they can get a win under their belt. I don't know what matches they have this week. I can find that out shortly. But to jump back to what Fets was saying about this Div C standings right now, I think Stanford is on the up and ups right now to probably take over this Div C. We got to see what this New Jersey team does this week with their matches with this new roster. OVO, and I said it last week, I said that week 3 was a big week for those OVO boys to prove to me if they're on the bottom half of the teams or they're on the upper half. And from what I've seen and how they're playing, they're more towards that lower bottom of teams, which is, sad to say from, how prestigious this OVO team was with Splashy and Kato and all the boys that are on there. But obviously OVO is in some rough struggles right now. And same as Texas. I think OVO and Texas they're not in the same boat. I think Texas is in Minneapolis hell right now. Shout out Minneapolis Monarch. But this OVO squad is having a rough go right now. And they need to pick up someone. And if Kato's in talks with Potato, I mean, if Potato goes to OVO and can really turn this team around, that would make this division a little bit more spicy. But OVO, they're trying, man, and it's sad to see, but
it's so crazy, man. Like, can you I'm sorry, really quick. Can you imagine, Clouter, how we first were at Major 1 with Stanford, right? Now we have a new Stanford, right? how we were with OVO through BO6. Look at OVO now. New Jersey, Major 3 Championship BO6. They just won Major 1. But we kind of know it was, Zorbs was kind of underpointed, right? We all know that, right? So, like, in a way, I still think they got it. But, I mean, now we have a new ownership, brand new. Los left to go to New York, right? Yep. And now we are here with a Division C that if OVO makes it all comes down to a very good pickup for OVO. They need someone to apply pressure more than Juicing, and I think Potato is a good spot. But right now, I mean, and when I meant dark horse, I meant like Stanford from now on. I think they're going to start getting game wins. They could potentially win the division. A lot of people didn't think they were going to come not nearly as on top as they were, but they're going to start winning games now. So I think this is going to be interesting for Stanford because they are showing that they're working out the kinks. Yeah. Savashi and BT are leading the way.
Jump back to Stanford. I mean, their matchups for this week is going to be Toronto and East Coast.
Yeah.
So that's 2 big games.
So those are So that's going to be the biggest
your proven point. That's your proven game.
Yeah,
right
if they even come 1-1 out of that, I'll be like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean?
No,
if they come 1-1 out of that, if they go 0-2,
then 2-0 week.
Yeah, if they go 2-0. 2-0, my next stream, I'm streaming with my shirt off. Like, if they come out 2-0 from this week, which, again, it's crazy, but they come out 2-0, yeah, like, I'm streaming Butt Aiken or something. I don't know, but it's going to be crazy to see, right? And but it's just where we are at with these teams. Everything is changing. One day, it takes 2 weeks for a whole roster to blow up and change, or it takes, like, 3 hours, and now we have this just concoction of Division C where, like, I think you and I agree that I think Stanford could potentially come out of this based on these new other changes on these rosters coming in for the other teams.
Yeah. And like you see now, like Stanford goes up against Toronto this week, and then obviously looking at New Jersey. New Jersey has a big game this week against West Coast Riders. I think that's big. I think we're going to get into West Coast a little bit. I think this team has found their footing finally in week 3. So West Coast and New Jersey should be a very good matchup. Obviously a major one rematch. And then they play New Jersey goes up against Texas. So, it's going to be – this is a good set of matchups for New Jersey. If New Jersey comes out of this week 1-1, that would be good for them. They definitely can come 2-0 out of this. I definitely don't see them coming 0-2. If they finish the week 0-2, then Texas has made some elite moves and, have figured their shit out to come out. And on top of that, it's going to be BT's return to Toronto this week as well, which I meant to get in there while talking about Stanford. So, BT's coming back up north. I'm excited to shoot against P Nutty again. But,
P Nutty!
It should be a good matchup.
That's a good game.
That is going to be a good game.
Yeah, Sav averaging 211. Don't say that, Fets. Says he's going to sell hard so they can see that naked body. Yeah, he better not. Don't do that. But no, I think the two are playing so well. I like Stanford right now.
They're Reflector. That's next on the list.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, but I think right now, I think that division's close as it gets. Again, I think OVO needs to make a good pickup starting here and now. Well, that's going to decide the rest of the season.
They play a struggling Paris team this week, so that should be a good confidence boost. And then they play a New York roster, which again on paper is the super team for this major. Obviously, the stats haven't shown it for them yet, but I feel like that New York team is going to come around. So, and they're all, and I mean, just with the players on that roster, I'm always going to say that the New York team is a team you probably shouldn't sleep on. So yeah, it's going to be another big week for OVO as well. Definitely, if you're OVO fans or OVO themselves, you definitely want a 2-0 week here to get yourself up with the Stanford and that. I mean, even 1-1. I mean, to go 3-5, maybe to stay in it a little bit, to stay above that bracket of relegation. I don't know where the line is for relegation right now. I guess now in the next upcoming weeks, since we're at the halfway point of the major right now, we will see where this relegation line comes in for a lot of these teams. And I guess we'll also be checking out on the D League as well soon enough too to see what teams are going to be coming up in Major 2 to play as well. But yeah, overall, Div C is looking really good right now. Obviously, you have the 2 top teams in Stanford and New Jersey with brand new rosters, both 3-3. The door's open for them to really be explosive in this back half of the season for them to come up high. And then for OVO and Texas, I think at this stage right now, you're at that rebuild stage where you kind of got to try to get a roster together and either make a late season push or be ready for that pool of death, and try your best not to be relegated and get some form of a team there before the next major, I guess, so you're not relegated to D League as well, right? So
Right.
Div C is looking juicy, man, and I'm happy to see what this week comes. It's a big week for all those teams in Div C, and then obviously jumping over to Div D is the fucking juggernaut division over here with a bunch of teams that are 5-1, and then there's Paris at the bottom that's getting absolutely shit pumped on the bottom, 1-5, 10-15 map count. Definitely not the start that they were looking for how high of a team they were last major. So obviously some struggles with Paris, and I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts on Paris are, either, Fets, with the 1-5 start that they're after having.
Oh man, it sucks to see them kind of go down like that. They had a lot of good weapons, a lot of good pieces. I still think they still have some good weapons in Paris, but they are not cohesive. They're not playing together. It looks super disorganized over there. I'm hoping the European boys can figure it out. Again, this team was amazing when they had glue. It's a different story now with this roster, and it's crazy to me how weeks go by and things just change dramatically. So, Paris is right now a bottom team. Unfortunately, based on their record, they are on the bottom. They are right there with. They have only one extra win than Texas. And I know their map count is more in the win section, but they're just not there. They are not there. I want to know who is going to play the next game. I don't even know who they're. I know Sinful is still kind of. I don't think Sinful is on the team anymore. I don't know who they have.
Sinful, Kane, I think all of them left. So I think they had to make some mad signings. I'm gonna try to find some signings real quick while you're shooting the bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think Paris could come back at this. And this is the same thing with OVO, right? Like OVO has to sign someone detrimental to cause pressure. And if they don't sign someone that's a franchise player...
They signed Rose. That's a big pickup for them. They signed Rose, and they signed Evo.
Right, Paris did?
Yep, Paris signed Rose.
Okay, so we have some East Coast...
Player.
Yeah, so we have some East Coast pedigree in Paris, but I'm saying, like if this is the time since we're basically at the halfway point or about to be at the halfway point of the regular season, there's got to be some... If you need to sign people, sign them. You got to start making some good signings here, and I think OVO and Paris are kind of in the same boat. Texas is an outlier in itself, but I think they're a game apart. And if they don't sign players, franchise players, they are going to be in a dreadful situation throughout the regular season. So I think right now Paris is in shambles. They're gonna. Perk is gonna.
One point I will mention now that probably not a whole lot of people know about Paris. I mean, up to this point of the season, right now. Paris and Overload is absolutely dog awful. They're 1-5. They have a .77 KD. They average 1.5 points a game, and the goal differential is what gets me. They are -32 in goal differential.
Oh my goodness!
Paris after -32 is -9 from Texas, but these boys have been getting absolutely demolished.
Oh my goodness!
Like, I mean, 8-0s, 8-1s. The Overload has not treated Paris nicely at all this major.
Yeah, it's Paris is.
I actually had to double stat check the -32 when I was doing the stats the other day. I thought I misclicked something, but no, they have been absolutely getting pumped in Overload.
And I don't think they could beat anybody in this division, to tell you the truth. I'm so sorry to tell you, but I'm not sorry at all.
I think Paris is just free for map 3s. I think your map 3s against Paris right now is free. I mean, obviously now they're retooling a roster, so obviously we're going to see a different roster. But I mean, up to this point, the team was just losing them overloads, and then everything else from S&D and Hardpoint were just kind of right in the middle. I mean, pretty much on league average with everything else. So the Overload is what Paris is really falling apart on here. That third map, that swing map, that a lot of teams that are good at it use it to their advantage. So unfortunately, Paris couldn't use it to their advantage so far this major. Obviously 1-5, and obviously with the -32 point differential is not something you want to see on the stat sheet for these boys in Paris. But Yeah, but that's the only I think that's the only downfall in this division. I mean, everything else in this division is just screaming, man. Let's see these boys go head to head at the major. We got Detroit, Miami, and East Coast. Boys are definitely major bound. These guys are gonna make a run. I mean, those three teams on top for me, I definitely finish top six right now in my opinion. If I were to do a bracket, Detroit, Miami, East Coast definitely enter in that top six, top four area during this major. But these boys are looking good. I'll let Fets take it away with Detroit because he always loves talking about Kaori and the boys. Uh, but yeah, no, Detroit 5-1, 17-7, and they're everything right now, Fets.
Dude, Detroit could be like I said. Okay, the top three right now. All three 5-1 teams right now in Division D are in my top five overall right now. They've been in my top five since the beginning of the season. These guys have been playing outside the boundaries, man. Um, Detroit has cleaned up their S&D. They are probably, if not the best, or they are the best respawn hardpoint team without a doubt. They cleaned up their overload, right? They are looking so good. I think East Coast beat them 3-2 in the beginning of the season. I think East Coast beat both these teams 3-2. So again, I'm not gonna put anything past Miami either. Miami and East Coast, it's a pick 'em at this point, man. Don't care who are these top three teams are playing. They're all going to Map Fives, man. It's that close. I mean, we're talking.
Had 3-1 against Texas, which you casted. You casted the Detroit Texas game.
Yeah.
Texas took the overload from Detroit, but Detroit then took the two hard points in the S&D, and then they had the 3-2 probably series of the week against New Jersey in Map 5. So big 2-0 week from them. Currently, I will say before you keep going, Detroit's rocking a 1.08 KD in the hard points right now. I think it's the fourth highest, if I'm correct. I think it's the fourth or third.
Yeah, East Coast for what? S&D?
No, third highest KD in hardpoint right now is Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah.
They're rocking a 1.09 in S&D, and I think and then the only mode that they're negative in is the overload with a 0.98, but they average 4.6 points per game, so they're averaging 4.5 points per game, so that's pretty good. But yeah, no, this Detroit team is doing, like you said, though, they're up there. These guys are flying around the map.
Yeah, I think any of these three teams can win the major. Like, that's how good this and close to. I mean, we're talking about a one map win or loss, right? 17-7, 17-8, 17-8. I mean, you can't get closer than that. I mean, this is like you got to put a parlay in, and you could win your money no matter what. It's a pick 'em here. This is as close as it could get. I like to see how the interpool scheduling works to see if it changes up some of these teams. I don't think they skip a beat though. I really don't think. I still think they're going to win out. I mean, ECB plays tonight. They play Bermuda. I still think that's going to be a win for ECB.
Yeah, Miami and Plattsburgh this week too. Detroit plays Plattsburgh.
Okay, so the funny thing about Miami and that Miami ECB game is Skizzy was the only one that went positive. Everybody else had dropped like 0.8s. Mars and Nuck had dropped like 1.2s. And ECB still came out and winning the game. I'll say I think East Coast Bandits is the best team right now. I would say they're the best team right now.
I think overall across all three modes, I think East Coast is the best over all three modes.
It's just crazy. They beat the two teams I thought would beat them, and they beat Detroit and they beat Miami all through 5 maps. So I don't think anybody else right now can challenge these guys besides these other two in the division. That is like that's how I feel. I don't think anybody I don't think that the cross pool is going to do much for these guys. I think they're still going to win. I think Plattsburgh can still give some of these guys some extra pressure, but dude, these guys are on fire.
Is their S&D and their overload. Their S&D and their overload is elite. I mean, I think East Coast is also up there with Stanford. I think Stanford and East Coast have the two best S&D teams in the league right now, so it's gonna be very interesting to see those two teams when they match up in S&D, because East Coast is 7-2 with a 1.25 KD and Stanford is a 1.24 KD. So both these teams banging it out in S&D. I think they're the 1-2 for top KDs right now in the league. No, I'm incorrect because West Coast has a 1.28. And S&D, they hold the top title, but then obviously behind them is East Coast and Stanford.
It's crazy to me, man, that they're still, and it's crazy to me that East Coast still has made multiple roster changes after Skizzy going up twice and a couple other changes for the points, and they're still able to be have a lot of continuity in their team. Rigo's come back and played games, right? Like, they're constantly playing. Miami again. I think Nuck is the MVP, but Skizzy's right up there. If Savashi still keeps playing like he's playing, he can win MVP too. So, like, a lot of teams are on the rise here. This Division D, though, is a pick'em. Like, it's if you guys see any of these three teams in the division, the Detroit, Miami, or East Coast, if they're playing a match, I think that's got to be a must-watch for anybody that's looking to watch some Call of Duty at night. You gotta watch these guys play. It's they're demons on respawns. All three of them know how to play S&D very well. Overload is still at their max capacity, so I want to see how well they do. But this is probably one of the best divisions I've seen since BO6. I mean, I'm sure that Clouter and I could recall some really close divisions, dominant divisions, but this is as dominant as it can get. Again, 5-1, 3 teams across, 17-7, 17-8, and 17-8 with map count. It's as close as you can get it on the skin of my teeth. It is insane. I think this is so fun to watch. I feel bad for Paris, but holy shit. It's not even about Paris. It's about the other 3 teams, unfortunately. Yeah. So shout out Division D. Really, really, really showing the effort and the grind here in this major too.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more with Fets there. And obviously on screen now, to talk about the Div D upcoming matchups this week. Obviously tonight we have East Coast versus Bermuda, which should be a good match. I do love my Bermuda boys, but I do agree with Fets. I do think East Coast takes that one there. East Coast also has a big match against BT and Sav in Stanford this week as well. That is definitely money match to watch there for sure. And then obviously we have Miami versus Detroit, big divisional game there. That's also another big game this week. Miami playing the up-and-coming Phoenix Skyliners. I feel like that is an underrated game that might actually be pretty good. And then on top of that, Detroit's also playing Plattsburgh this week. And I think that rounds out those 3 teams. Hey, because then Paris is playing Las Vegas and OVO on top of that. But yeah, a very good week from these Div D teams. You know what? I wouldn't be shocked if... Well, actually, no, we can't because Miami plays Detroit too. I was going to say I wouldn't be shocked if we came back and all teams were 7-1. But obviously, this Detroit-Miami game is going to give one of those teams their second loss for sure this week. And then, yeah, I mean, East Coast can definitely go 2-0. Detroit can go 2-0. Miami can go 2-0. But unfortunately, between Miami and Detroit, one of them can't go 2-0. So it's only a matter of time to see what happens this week, to see what happens with those teams. But, yeah, Div D is definitely the juggernaut division. Definitely 3 teams, in myself and Fets' opinion, that are definitely seeing major. They're definitely seeing playoff COD. And, I definitely got them finishing top 6, top 4. It would be a major upset.
I better see...
It'd be a major upset. It'd be a major upset to see one of those 3 teams not place like top 6, top 4 in the upcoming
that's what I'm saying.
Major.
I better see like one of those teams like make it out of losers finals, and like the other 2 teams in winners finals or something like that. Like I better see that. That's how I feel. I think the only teams that could really chow these guys could be only because Jersey's on there, right? For Zorbs on that team. I really don't know any other team really. Maybe West Coast, right? If Desire stays on that team, that would be another team that I think in the outside of the pool that could chow them. Stanford would be another one. I think those are my top 3 that could chow them. Everybody else, I just don't think they could try to bring it close. I just think that's some of the best fundamental Call of Duty I've seen out of these 3 teams, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hands down. Toronto, right? Like anybody into the top 5, right? Like Toronto, West Coast, Jersey, and Stanford. I think those 4, maybe New York if they play Los. I think that's like your 4 or 5 teams outside of that Division D to chow them. But that's it. That's all I got for them.
Absolutely. Which one do you want to jump into now? A or B?
Let's do B first. I'm so curious. I'm so let's save A for last. Let's say Toronto for last.
This Div B could be very, very interesting if Vegas didn't sign a bunch of cheaters. I truly believe that if Vegas didn't have to forfeit so many series so far this major with either signings or GAs or complications, I honestly could see this Div B being 3-3-3-3-3 down right down the middle. So it's very unfortunate that Vegas has been hit with that. And unfortunately they're 1-5 because of it. I don't like their stat line right now is kind of everywhere in our spreadsheet because of all the forfeits that they've had. So, it's hard to get a gauge on these Vegas boys, but they did sign Spicy. Spicy did drop down to a 7, and Benji wasn't long snatching him off the market. So I don't know if Spicy's going to be playing for this team this week. That's my take on this team on how interesting these guys could play this week. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I think these guys should be 3-3, but had the forfeit because of Olaf. Yeah, because of the cheating accusation. So, I think this division could have been very, very tight. I mean, it still is tight between Bermuda, Phoenix, and Plattsburgh. You have 3 solid teams here who have a lot of promise and also a lot of weakness too. There's a lot of strengths and weaknesses for all these teams in Div B, and I think like the weaknesses are only small little tidbit things that I think if they worked on they can fix. And I think Fets, in my opinion, I think this Div B is still like a big question mark division for me. I don't know if these teams are top or if they're shit yet. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's the best way of putting it. But I don't see these guys being any super teams, but at the same time, I don't see them being down towards the bottom of the leaderboard either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough. I just want to, before we get into this, Sleep was just traded to New Jersey.
Oh, I see that there. Eraz just put it in chat. Sleep
literally a minute.
New Jersey. That is a solid pickup for New Jersey.
Oh wow! I just saw it in the chat too. Yeah, Sleep in New Jersey.
Yep.
That's a big pickup for New Jersey.
Yeah,
I think
Sleep going to New Jersey's huge.
If what I'm assuming before we get into this Division D, what I'm assuming is Zin's going to take backstep and then insert Sleep into the 1-pointer role. No,
Sleep's a 3. He moved up.
He's a 3-pointer. I thought he was a 1. Okay.
He's going to replace Colin, I think.
Oh, he's going to replace Colin. So then I don't. Yeah, again, too many weapons. I think Colin needs to play the game. I know he's been busy, but I think Colin starts on a team. So
Casper's a 2, right? So yeah, it would be.
Yeah, Casper.
Yeah. So Casper,
Zorbs,
Sleep, and Zorbs. I think the duo of Sleep and Zorbs could be really good because Sleep play the other day. Sleep can shoot.
Damn, I'm surprised Colin's not playing. I mean, listen, I'm just saying this. If you, if you're not playing the game, don't play. I know how. It's enticing to come back and play, but Colin needs to start for a team, and if he's on the bench, then I wouldn't play. That's just me. So Colin's on the bench.
He might not be though. We don't know for sure.
Axe signing Sleeps and giving him away is crazy. I know Oslight left Phoenix. This Division B is interesting.
I love my Bermuda boys. I will stand on that. They're giving me those VO6 Rogue Raider vibes. I have a weird attachment to those boys. I love seeing them on the map shooting. I do. But and it's something when I see them lose and stuff, and I do hope the best for my Bermuda boys. But yeah, no, I agree. I think this whole division is a big question mark right now. I think the only solid team out of the 4 is Bermuda. They're the only squad that has stuck together with Ruler, XO, Diesel, and I mean they also traded Dyer to New York this week as well, so they no longer have Dyer. So I guess they're rolling the C-Fan as that fourth player for Bermuda, which again I still like. I like the big 3 with whoever they put in that 4th spot for Bermuda. But yeah, they're a very average team, and I don't mean that in a mean way. But they're just smack dab in the middle. You know what I mean? I think Bermuda got a lot of work to do on this back half, and we've seen it in Major 1. They flourish in this back half of the major. They did it in Major 1, and I definitely wouldn't be surprised if they did it again in Major 2 as well.
Yeah, I think they kind of flatlined for me just a little bit. I thought there was some games that I thought Bermuda could win this series. They have a big game tonight But again, I think goes to the same for Phoenix. I don't think they lived up to the expectation. I think Bermuda becomes more of a second half team, and they make noise. I think they take the division and then make noise in the bracket, right? I think Ruler needs to be consistent, and I've seen him not be as consistent, at least in the last 2 weeks. I need him to be as efficient as he can be. Like we saw, I forgot who they played when he had like 42 on the Scar map one. That's what he needs to be every single time.
Might have been against us.
Was it?
Because he lost. They lost 3-1 to us. They did beat us.
No, we casted that match. Yeah, we casted that Bermuda match, whatever it was. I don't know what team it was, but
was that the week before?
Week before.
Oh, it was. I will tell you that. So I'll just find the match.
Yeah, so it was
Bermuda and Absolute
AR. Yeah, AR. So like thinking to myself, like AR is gonna come out beat him. Like Rulers outperformed them all. Like he played better than Noah and played better than Farmy or Rev or whoever it was, right? But I think Bermuda still comes out of this. Now I think the only thing that comes close is 2 things, right? Or maybe 3 things. I would say for Phoenix, they got to figure out their roster, and Act needs to stop whining. Act needs to lock in and figure out a roster. He can't be crying about the roster. He needs to start getting shit together and start playing like the Act he is. 2, Plattsburgh, SETI, Tuna duo. That thing kind of works. I'm not going to lie. I like it. I like it a lot.
I do too.
And then they played Cheaters the last game, so they didn't count. But really, they came close, and they chowed them through 5 rounds. So, of S&D and them at 5. So, of 11 rounds of them at 5, S&D. So, they did their best.
I've been meaning to fix Nightbot float, so I'm sorry that got...
No, you're good.
He's
but I just think right now, like, Plattsburgh with Tuna and SETI, it's an interesting move. I like it a lot. I really do.
I think it's a duo
against
that
Bermuda.
If they put the time in, I think they can definitely make some noise.
100%.
Back half of the season.
Yep.
And I do agree with you. I think if Phoenix can find a roster together that molds with Act, they can also make a back push this in the late half of the season. And same with Bermuda. I think the only team that got fucked out of this division is Las Vegas, and I mean it's not even entirely their fault.
But then to the third point, the last bit was what you brought up was Spicy joining Las Vegas.
Exactly.
That's the only thing good for Las Vegas right now.
Yes.
It doesn't. I don't care who's running the team or who else is on the team. The only thing that's good for that team right now, and the best thing that's been in the headlines, is Spicy going down the rank and joining Las Vegas. The only thing that's good for them, because if he plays, it could be a different story, right? Because we know how good he is, the prowess he has, how much pressure he can apply on the map, whether it's a sub or AR, main AR, blah, blah, blah. But right now, they're 1-5. They have a lot of time to chip away. It's going to take a while. But right now, Bermuda and Plattsburgh, I think Phoenix falls to relegation, in my opinion. I think Plattsburgh and Bermuda are going to be up in the top 2 because I like the Tuna SETI. I think SETI's playing really well still. And then Bermuda, has the continuity and the pedigree with Diesel and those guys. But it's really going to come down to Ruler, because if Ruler gives you a 1.0 KD, they're not going to win. I'm sorry to tell you that.
No, you are right.
He has to play. He has to drop a 1-4, 1-3, something like that. He needs to extend himself. He needs to extend the play. He needs to extend himself to the masses. Ruler needs to play like Kaori, like SETI, like Nuck. He has to play like that in order for Bermuda to win. And I think we've seen it multiple times with multiple flashes, but as of right now, I think this is so clear cut. Like not clear cut. It is so clear cut that we have a 3-3 and 3-3, and then like a bottom 1-5. That 1-5 could change for Vegas if Spicy plays, but for the other top 3 teams, man, it's going to be tough. They have a lot of work, a lot of ground to make up. Every match counts for each of those 3 teams that are tied 3-3 right now.
Yep.
It's going to come down to the wire. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Plattsburgh makes it either because of the SETI Tuna duo, what they do over there. So I don't know, but I like Bermuda a lot. I'm gonna have to add Bermuda in my back pocket like you have since BO6. I think I'm gonna add that in there because I trust Ruler. I want Ruler to play well, and I want to see Ruler play well. But
right now, there's a lot of tough matches. I think if anything, And obviously they play Detroit as well, but I think Plattsburgh has the easiest matches here, and I say that with obviously them playing Detroit because they play AR. I don't think AR has had a very strong start to the major, and obviously we'll get into that shortly when we talk about Div A. But obviously Plattsburgh going up against AR in Detroit this week, so I can see them going 1-1. If they go 2-0, it could be a master. It could be a big upset if they pull the upset over Detroit. And I think in the back of my mind is if that Seti and Tuna duo can get cooking, they might be able to take this Detroit team. They might. Now, obviously, my money is going to be on Detroit. Kaori Reflectory and all those boys over there, they've been grinding. They put up the stats to prove that they can shoot. So, obviously the favorites is Detroit here, but I would not be shocked if we seen a Plattsburgh upset there. And then moving on to Bermuda, they also have a big matchups this week. I mean, they go up against East Coast, which is I think already an uphill battle for them. And it's no offense to them, but it's definitely an uphill battle against those Bandits over on the East Coast. And then obviously then you're still over on the East Coast once again playing the New York Impact, the super team on paper. And we'll get into New York in a bit too. I think New York is a team you can't sleep on either. Like the boys are kind of keeping it around 500 right now, but I do think that this New York squad, once they find their footing, they are going to be up there for a big super team going forward as well. But then you have Phoenix, who then go up against Miami and West Coast. West Coast, I feel like this past week has found their footing, and obviously we'll talk about that shortly when we jump into Div A. But I think West Coast is on the up and ups, so that's a big match for Phoenix this week, playing a hot West Coast team, and then you go up and play the 5-1 Miami team as well. So this Div B is going to look very interesting after this week, I think. Now, if we come back and they're all just as tight, that's great. Obviously keeps the division tight, but yeah, I potentially, I don't know how it's going to go for these teams this week. It's very, very weird. Their matchups are very weird. They can be 1-1, they could go 0-2, or they can also just go 2-0. So it's very hard to tell moving forward here, in my opinion.
Yeah, that Miami Detroit matchup, that shit better be Wednesday night.
True. Get that on.
That shit or Friday night. I don't know. But I need to be in the booth with Clouter to watch that shit.
Yeah,
I gotta be. We both have to be, man.
Right now, we need a juicy matchup for Wednesday. Like, get me and Fets horned up for a Wednesday night.
Yeah, like
cast.
I need to spit on my fucking man boobs when I watch that shit, man.
But yeah, and then obviously rounding out that schedule, Vegas plays Toronto and Paris. Obviously we'll see how Spicy takes over with the new Vegas roster. But obviously, I think for me and Fets, I think it's safe to say that we'll wait and see how this Vegas team performs this week. And see what it is afterwards as well. So
do you guys not play on Wednesday? Like all you guys just play on Monday night? All you guys just play and not even that. This is what I don't understand. Why don't you guys post it in match schedules? Like why? And then people are like, oh, we need a caster right now. Like no, put that shit in match schedules so we know. Like, I can't stand that shit. And how the fuck am I supposed to know that you guys are you need to cast? What if I'm doing something? What if I'm doing something? I'm in fucking 20 minutes away, and then we need a caster right now. But you didn't tell me that there was a match because guys didn't post that shit. Need a caster 30 minutes ago. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the shit I can't stand, Casper. Like, you feel me? Like, we gotta make sure that we're a little bit more organized here, gentlemen. All right? But at the end of the day, yeah, nah, that's a crazy matchup. Tonight, 9 o'clock. Miami, Detroit. I probably will not be casting that because I got a ton of homework to do after this.
Yeah,
I gotta go out for a little bit.
We'll look it over.
So,
hey, listen, we'll look back on it next week, man. But that is definitely a big matchup for sure. I mean,
we just confirmed, and the East Coast band is playing Bermuda tonight. So,
yeah, two big matches. I'll definitely be in the chat watching those for sure.
We just confirmed. Oh no, you're good. I'm just, but like, yeah. But Vision A, man.
You're gonna have Fets tweaking.
Nah, I just messing.
Fucking 4% to top. Calm his ass down, man.
Nah, 8%. I'm almost done with my second 8%. I'm about to move to my last one. But I was ripping those fireballs earlier. Wow, that was insane. Oh my goodness.
And then I guess moving into our last division of the day, we're back to Div A, and this division is looking. This division isn't how I I think this division doesn't look as what we thought it would be at week 1 with these teams. Coming into week 3, it looks a lot different than what me and you had planned when the teams were announced. Obviously, AR not having the best start in the major so far, going 2-4. I think a team still struggling to find their footing. New York randomly having a very hot start, has gone down to a 500 level playing team with the players they have on the team. Obviously bringing in all the big gun 6-pointers. I don't know how they're rotating all of them around, but between Los, Gelato, and Splashy, obviously having 3 big 6-pointers on the roster. Still a super team on paper. West Coast having a big 2-0 week this week, 3-0 in Plattsburgh, and beating another team as well. I need to find out who. Bear with me. 3-2 Absolute Rain as well. So big win for them. And then you have the Toronto boys that are 5-1 and 16-8. Also this week. Oh, Gelato left the team. Okay, so they replaced Gelato with Los. Still. And Los and Splashy's back up. Yeah, you guys are in my eyes. You guys are still a super teamy. So on paper, obviously not right now, but you're 3-3. But you know what? Let's jump into that, Feds. What do we think about this New York roster? What's the mindset of this super team? Because I'm going to continuously call them a super team until because they have the named players there that has the prestige to be a super team. Now, obviously, they haven't put it on the map. But I feel like we're going to see that sooner or later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so division. So half of Division A. So
I let Feds talk about the Toronto.
Toronto and West Coast good. New York and Absolute Rain. That bottom half of Division A is what I call the letdown division. That was the biggest letdown I've had so far in this Major 2 regular season. Now. I agree with Clouter. I don't really care what anybody says in chat. We do this professionally, so I'm going to let you know if you sign Los, Splashy, you have Bear, you had Gelato, but left. I don't care I don't care if you guys are 2-7. That is the Brooklyn Nets of the NBA. You guys look like Kyrie, KD, and James at the East Coast. I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna get crazy. You got the letdown division. Absolutely, that's a let. No, but without Toronto, West Coast, that bottom 2 team, they're letdown teams. They're the teams that have let me down the most. New York and Absolute Rain. Now, let me get into New York first, since we're here. New York, I don't care what it is. On paper, when I look at the names of the people that are going to the East Coast, to New York to play. You guys are a super team because of the names that you guys are signing. You just signed Splashy, and you guys lost 3 straight after that. What was it? And then you signed Gelato, but Gelato doesn't play. So he leaves, and then you guys think about this for a second. Los left New Jersey, gave the ownership to Zin in New Jersey, and then he went to go play to New York. Now, it only makes sense if Los actually time, right? Other than that, you guys have been a letdown. I'm so sorry to tell you that. New York has been a letdown. They were my top 5 team the beginning of Major 1 in the power rankings because you signed Splashy. Like, dude, he left OVO to go to New York.
And that's what
now with Bear as the cornerstone, Bear has always been the cornerstone of New York. I don't care what anybody says since BO6. Every single time Eraz has changed teams, he has kept Bear there as the main franchise player, right?
That is true.
Then, as he does that, he gets Splashy. Eraz subs himself and he plays. Now you're playing with a 0-pointer. Striker, Paul G at the time, whoever it was, right? That doesn't work out. I think Paul G goes up a point. Paul Z moves out, ships himself out to Plattsburgh, right? Not only that,
we also we'll jump back to that because
3-0 to West Coast, and then you lost another one after that. You barely got through to Rain. You were down 2-0. You were left them. God gave you that. Not only that, you guys just signed Los, 2-time champion from BO6 and BO7, and you guys want to say that you guys are not a super team? You guys are a super team on paper, but translating onto the field, you guys are literally the Brooklyn Nets with James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. I'm so sorry to tell you that, but that's what it looks like for me. That is me.
No,
that is it.
I can agree with you.
You guys were stronger than you. Casper and Roomba and those guys were on the team back in the day. This does not look like. I don't know what it is. I don't know what has to happen for you guys to change and make you guys look comparable to some of these teams. But there's no way you guys are on a 2-game, 3-game skid.
You know what? Though,
you know what I mean? That's what I have to say for New York.
Cut Fets off, but yeah, I agree. If you don't use what that man just said for motivation, I don't know. Because I do agree. I agree with you full-heartedly. Like you went super in depth, and for me to sum it up for you in a way is that the way I think about it is the players that are on this team. And no offense to Dyer whatsoever for being a 0-pointer. I mean, that's your fill-in player. But I mean, I don't mean that any harsh ways. He's your 0-pointer. He's what fits the big three that you have with Bear, Eraz, and Splashy, and also bringing in Los. So obviously, if Splashy can't make it, there's teams out there like, let's say, all right, let's jump to Toronto for a second. Let's say Cope can't make a game. We're fucked for a backup player, for a backup 6. You know what I mean? We don't know who we're bringing in. But, I mean, with New York, if Splashy doesn't show, you're bringing in Los. And, I mean, that is just equal or just as good as playing with Splashy on the map, with Splashy being there, in my opinion. So, I think on paper, it's a super team. Obviously, what we've seen so far this major has been nothing but, I guess, half of a letdown. Obviously, 3
Oh, no, it's been I am so sorry. Dude,
okay,
BO6. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah,
and this is just off of my experience, not because of I'm hating on anybody. This is just all objectivity.
Yeah, we're not the Toronto.
Back in BO6, when Splashy was still in OVO, and they made the trade to get Eraz to come to OVO to reemerge himself with the TBOD duo that they had, right? And it was all of the 4-way trades were reverted because the community could not stand it. You guys are literally playing together now, right? But and then now you got Los.
Toronto really.
That's what I'm saying. That's the stuff that I don't understand. Why? Unless the only thing I can think of right now is you guys are literally playing with one hand behind your back and a toe. There's nothing else I can think of. Or you guys are confidently not playing to your expectations. It is the craziest thing I've seen. It has been the biggest. Excuse me. Bermuda. It has been the biggest letdown, in my opinion, alongside Absolute Rain in this Major 2 regular season because of the fact that you guys tried to come back together in BO6. The trades were canceled.
I gotta stop.
Now we're here.
There's no way I'm listening to 3 outer fucking chats because when the vote came up, I voted to stay at 3 because I know goddamn well that I will not be a 2 for very, very long. I fucking know for sure that I am not going to be a 2-pointer for very long. And that is on everyone that voted, and not me. So I am not taking the fault for that. I didn't sandbag for that at all. I will say that live here on stream. But, yeah, no. New York plays OVO in Bermuda this week. In my mind, I think it's a 2-0 week for New York. I think they come out of this 5-3, hopefully. And, hopefully that doesn't add that pressure on them. And listen, all jokes aside, whatever pointer I am, all the love for everyone in the chat too. I will say that too. I love all the boys in the Cord and a part of this league. I never mean anything negative towards anyone. Love all the boys. That's a complete side note. But yeah, no, I think this New York team has the potential to make this back end push and not be a letdown like Fets says. Obviously, Fets is leading towards the negative side. I still have an upside vote for this New York team, but this week is big for them.
The only upside they have is Los. That's the only upside they have. Other than that, they're a letdown so far. I don't understand. I don't understand why they don't play well. It doesn't make any sense. TBOD is together. You got Bear there. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with that team because that team should be winning games. That is a super team on paper. I don't care what anybody says. I'll put that shit on my heart. I'll engrave that shit in my skin. That is literally a super team, and then Absolute Rain
Yeah,
again.
you want to start your rant
Another.
with AR? You should start your rant with AR now because it seems like you were ready to go with both teams.
Another another letdown. I mean, I thought Chance and Noah together as a duo would be great with Jude and Stubby, but they have underperformed tremendously. Again, another team that I thought was a huge upgrade roster wise from BO6. And they have not shown that. I mean, they were basically 1-5, and the only reason why they got 2-4 is because of the Las Vegas reversal. Other than that, they're really 1-5. So like, it's great, or they're 2-4, but still, like, I was not thinking Toronto being 5-1. I mean, Toronto playing much better than they did in BO6. I think they found their groove. I think they found their roster. I think Dizzle being in there is great. I like to sell Roomba to get some picks back and some cash considerations back and some more moves. I think they're good. I think Toronto looks really good in this division. West Coast is on the come up, and I think West Coast is starting to move well. Re-signing Desire. Desire just got moved up to. So we'll see how well they play along with the roster moves. Again, the best teams. The best owners will always make the best rosters, no matter the roster changes, the point changes, no matter what. I will
say though.
So that's what I would say.
The Stumbler always finds a way. He always finds a way to fix his rosters. He's a really good. I honestly shout out to Stubby because I do think that he is a solid team owner. I'm not saying he's elite team owner now, but he does. When his team is struggling, he tries to make the moves to fix his team a little bit. And obviously not the week that they wanted to have, losing to West Coast in 5, and then also losing to New York in a reverse sweep this week. So not obviously the 0-2 week from them is not ideal for those boys. So we will see now going forward. They have matches against. I will tell you shortly. I'm pretty sure they have a big match this week. While you're still going.
No, you're good. I'm just sitting there thinking like the people that I know, like on that roster. Right, what I've seen
like Texas and
since BO6, like even in the beginning of BO7, right? And I'm sitting there like, there's no way they're 3-3, right? So I'm sitting there like, I'm looking at these other teams like they're 3-3. Division B, more than 75% of those teams are 3-3, right? Like I just don't understand. So you're telling me that Plattsburgh's going to beat New York, right? On paper, I don't think it should. But damn, they fucking might beat them 3-1. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that. Like, I just don't... I don't understand what is going on inside the locker room at New York. And...
Absolutely right.
If I am Bear in the New York, I need to be outspoken. I'm the captain of that team. I need to. I'm the franchise player.
Bear smoking the big cigars.
Bear has been there since the beginning, alongside E. Right. If I'm Bear, I need to be outspoken and tell my team what I need, and I think that's what I would do.
No, I agree.
Oh, you did 3-0 Plattsburgh. Okay. But was that with Tuna?
You guys did 3-0 Plattsburgh, but they didn't 3-0. They didn't. No, that's not with Tuna. That was with.
Yeah, it's not with Tuna, right? Okay.
That was like start.
So yeah. So I mean,
belt to ass series. That was week
like
1.
It's just once I saw the West Coast New York team, the New York game, I was like, no way. It's shit like that. So I think there's still room for them to improve and ameliorate their game, so whether they can become contenders, top 8, top 6 team. I just right now. I think Toronto and West Coast have been playing much better. I think they are a better team right now than New York right now. Absolutely.
I think New York and
it's like crazy to me.
Need to have a 2-0 week to bounce back within this division and prove that they're up here with Toronto and West Coast. And obviously, I think last week we would have said West Coast was toward more of the bottom, but obviously having moving on from them jumping up to West Coast, having a phenomenal 2-0 week. With a 3-0 series against Plattsburgh, which was dominant. I think Sleepy had his debut match. I casted that one and watched Sleep have his debut match, and that kid was shooting. Obviously, now he's been picked up by New Jersey, which is now, we talked about earlier, is an elite pickup from New Jersey, picking up Sleep. So it's gonna be hard to tell what this West Coast team looks like now without Sleep on the roster anymore. But I would assume that Chapo and the boys will figure it out. But they're looking good, man. Undefeated in S&D right now. West Coast is currently 5-0 in S&D and leading with the highest S&D KD with a 1.28 KD in S&D right now. So these boys are definitely finding their way in S&D. And it just comes down to the respawns with these guys as well. They just got to try to lock in a little bit more on their respawns. But they definitely have S&D on lock. I'm pretty sure they're the only team that is undefeated. Stanford was also undefeated up until last night, till dropping their S&D map to Texas last night. But yeah, West Coast remains the only undefeated team left in S&D. And another thing I'll jump back to Absolute Rain, and as I'm pretty sure I was going to get that while you were talking about Absolute Rain, jumping back to them again. They are currently 0-5 in S&D with a -14 round differential in S&D, and they're rocking a 0.85 KD, so not what you want to see at Absolute Rain at all in their S&D work. And then Overload and Hardpoint, they're just around 500. So I think AR got to work on their S&D a little bit. And if I were to do any stats toward the New York boys are pretty much beating around average on all modes. They're pretty much, if I were to compare them to anyone, I'd compare them to Bermuda right now. They're just smack dab in the middle. And like we said earlier, we want to see a little more from the New York boys, and same with the AR
Like,
boys.
there's just no way Splashy Bear and Eras are just not playing together. It seems so hard to believe that. So, like, you get Los, like, how, like, you have, like, you have to play Los. Like, there's no other option, in my opinion, because it's not working.
Fets really wants this New York team to be fucking.
No, because here's the problem. It's only because I hate when people are saying this is not a super team. No, nigga, the whole roster on paper is a super team. It's the experience that I've seen, the trajectory and the aura that since BO6, E tried to go to OVO. It didn't work. It was canceled. They are back together. They should be winning games. It is an expectation that I see New York, and I'm not getting that. And it is a Brooklyn Nets era for New York right now. I'm so sorry to tell you that, but I expect much better out of them, especially Splashy. Again, you made two people leave their organizations. You made Splashy leave OVO, and you made Los leave Jersey. So that, to me, is a huge detriment to the team that they're leaving, right? I'm expecting New York to be the greatest thing ever. The greatest thing ever, but they're not. They're not. They are struggling still. They are 500, so that is where I can't stand there. Oh, we're not a super team. No, on paper, you guys are a super team. I don't care what anybody says, because of the aura that you guys have brought to both teams, Los and T, and then again, E trying to come to OVO. So it's just, that's what I'm saying. So right now, New York, I think there's room for New York to progress and do well. But right now, the best teams are East Coast Bandits, Detroit, and Miami. That's what we gotta be looking for. New York is losing to a lot of these teams that they should be winning. It's gonna be but I still have them top 8, top 6 in a way. I just think that, damn, man, like, there's no way they're underperforming this hard, right? And Toronto has been playing really well
I'm gonna let you take
in this regular season.
I'm gonna let you take
They are playing amazingly well.
Sit back and just listen.
They've been playing great. I think they have made appropriate roster moves where it doesn't look like to me it doesn't look like a super team. I've seen Dizzle go 14-7 and like die 15 straight and like go, and I think they actually lost that series. I forgot who it was. They came close. No, that was they won the 3-2 against
that's where I'll say
PP.
I think I'm gonna have to slightly disagree, because I do see the Toronto Super team, and I think the bump down for me to a 2, and then having Danky coming in. I don't know. We have looked better since picking up Danky. That's for sure. I think that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I thought that was a great pickup.
Yeah, like I said, I don't like giving my opinion on Toronto, because I feel like it comes back as a bias thing. But I think that's just my take on it. I think bringing in Danky,
dude,
and then the
Danky's my boy. I got Danky in here, man. I met him in Apathy's fucking chat, bro. He's the GOAT. Man, I invited him in here. He finally.
I hope so, E.
Now he's playing.
But yeah, no.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that's what it does, E. The racist prick. No, you're not wrong about that either. I mean, I can imagine. That's why I don't want to do listenings on AR because I'm sure there's so many slurs going back and forth
dude,
an absolute rave. I can
what
imagine.
it was the
Oh my
Plattsburgh,
goodness.
wasn't it? What series did we cast?
Oh, it was.
We have boys dropping slurs.
And I don't even know who. Joe, I like Payne said it. Potato said it.
Oh yeah, it was New
like,
Jersey, and who were they playing? It wasn't Detroit.
I
It was
don't
a
even.
different one.
I don't know who it was.
Man. Yeah, shout out to the New Jersey boys prior.
Yo, dude, nah, I felt bad because
that was an elite listening, man. It was just.
I felt bad because Potato.
It was just slurs going everywhere at one point. Like,
dude, I felt bad because Potato apologized to me. I was like, "Nah, you're good. I just, God forbid, someone's in the chat. They didn't want to become a Karen and report my shit. I'm done." But like, it was like, I was like, all right, Clouter, we're gonna go to a listen to New Jersey. The first thing you hear is like, oh my, I can't even say it here. This is crazy.
Yeah, it was just slurs everywhere.
It rhymes with maggot, and that's all I gotta say. That was crazy. Dude, multiple. Payne said it.
Line is what it was. It was the Abeezy line.
Oh yeah, and everybody in chat was like Abeezy. Yeah. We got Abeezy. Who's Abeezy? Yeah, dude, Toronto's just playing great. They're playing great ball. From the regular season they had from BO6 to the regular season they're having now is night and day. I think Cope and Clouter have found their footing since the first matchup.
I will say it was great to finally end the 7-series negative streak and sorry to the New York boys, but obviously it was against them. So I was very, very pleased with myself to hit they'd be over a 1-point KD for like the first time in like 7 series because that was really stressing me out for a while there. Fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, man, the Unk status is really kicking in here at 27, man. Fuck. I can't.
I mean, you could. I mean, you guys are looking really good. I think Cope, again, your franchise player, has been playing just out of his expectations.
I think we're leading.
He's been playing.
I think we're leading in hardpoint KD right now over the league with.
And Dizzle again. Dizzle is plays again. Has been. I think Dizzle has fit in very well as an AR main AR. A couple slip ups here and there in SND. Being up 4-0 and then letting teams kind of come back. But damn, I mean, again, one of the very few teams besides maybe New York that plays Meltdown. I don't know if New York still plays Meltdown anymore, but
Phoenix.
Phoenix does Meltdown. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, the fact that you guys play Meltdown is interesting. I know we got a lot of new maps coming in for rank play, so I don't know if maps are going to change for this league.
My big vote is I would love to see Plaza in SND for all my BO2.
Plaza SND is crazy.
For all the young guns
that would look crazy.
BO2 maps, man. Plaza SND would be fucking evil.
I wish Dizzle was everything for me when I had him. Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's crazy to see.
Dizzle has been trying, man.
It's crazy to see that kind of thing, and I don't know what it was. Maybe he was just going through shit. He had stuff going on. Maybe he has more free time now. Maybe he has more time to lock in for Toronto. The passion's back. Who knows? But I agree. We'll get into Paris picks-ups in a little bit. I'm happy he's there. I'm happy. No, Perk referred Dizzle to Clouter, and he has been fitting really well in there. I'm glad that he's there.
Being there, yeah.
And then Danky. Danky being a 2-pointer, coming in and playing really well. I mean, I'm glad that he's doing that. They have a team that they could bounce off of. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
I think for everyone that is slowly coming in and missed the first half, I think off of just to recap a little bit over Div C. I think me and Fets highlighted how Stanford and New Jersey got some new look teams there, and they're on the up and ups coming forward. OVO and Texas are towards the downswing right now. A lot of work to see over the next couple weeks from those two teams. Obviously, New Jersey picking up Sleep is a big pickup for them. And then jumping over to Div D, we had Miami, East Coast, and Detroit, the big juggernaut 3 in Div D. Top 4 to top 6 finish in this major, in me and Fets' opinion. Those boys are all shooting very well on all 3 of those teams. Obviously, with Paris at the back end struggling, being 1-5, and also having a -32 goal differential and overload is not the highest out of Paris. But obviously, they have a bunch of new teams coming in, new players coming in as well. So we'll see how Paris goes back to that. Fets obviously is in our ear right now, trying to light a bomb or something. He's just letting it go in the background there.
Dude, when we do the pod, you know how we do it, brother.
I
This
know,
is,
bro.
you know what I'm saying?
While Fets is in the middle of getting cooked for his favorite segment of the show, reintroducing back this week is the power rankings. Over the last couple weeks now, we've
Oh,
gained
we got
from
them?
me and Feds. Oh yeah, we do. So
We got the power rankings, baby. Come on, man.
So we're gonna see the stats
Come
come on screen
on.
right now. So obviously, overranking the hard
Huge.
point, we have the New Jersey Blackout being 9-2 so far this season in hard points with a 1.11 KD, and obviously having a plus 310 point differential in hard points. Lining behind them in number 2 is going to be is the Toronto Frost, who are 6-4. Have the highest KD among all teams in hardpoint right now with a 1.15 and a plus 316 point differential. And then following up the third is obviously Miami 6-3 with a 1.06 with a plus 226 point differential. And then obviously you have Detroit, East Coast, Bermuda, Phoenix, and West Coast rounding out the bottom. Those are your top 8 hardpoint power rankings of the week. What's your thoughts on these Feds? Now you're going to see now you get to see some stat lines.
Well, I think Jersey being number 1 is pretty interesting. Not surprised for Toronto, Miami, Detroit, East. I will say this. I would say at least Phoenix being in the top 8 is pretty interesting. I think that's still there. 1.05 plus 144. 4 and 5, but still top 8, number 7 overall. That's not terrible. That's something to look for. If I'm ACT, that's something to look towards.
I meant to add the league average in here for two because I do have league average done out. I think the league average in hardpoint right now. See, it's weird for the KDs because all the KDs right now are kind of averaging out the one area. So the league average right now for hardpoint KDs is a 1.01 KD right now in hardpoint. So there's a lot of negative KDs in the back half. Obviously, East Coast being up in 5 and Bermuda 6 and 8, all having negative KDs. I mean, they're kind of round average. I mean, 1.01 is the league average for hardpoint KDs right now. But yeah, no.
He said somehow Zorbs alone is on top of all of the 5-1 teams. I mean, that's the crazy part. Like,
yeah, but this is just hardpoint. If we're gonna jump,
this is just hardpoint. Like, it's crazy.
If you want to know S&D for New Jersey, you flip the 9-2 around, and then they're 2-9 in S&D.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to certain franchise, like when I say franchise players, like I mean like Cope, Zorbs, Nuck, Kaori, Skizzy. Right. If I'm going down this top 8 line, right?
Yeah.
Zorbs, Cope. Nuck, right? Kaori, Skizzy, Ruler, Act,
Chapo,
and then Desire, maybe, or Chapo, right? So like how, like, and I read Eraz's comment right in chat. I'm like, that's interesting because it's like one player could give you so much good emphasis on a certain game mode, but then like you just said, like Jersey again 2-9, right? You said about right.
Yeah, oh, wow.
On S&D?
S&D, yeah, they're 2-9 in S&D. No, that is.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, of Respawn Demons, right? What teams are as consistent as they move through each mode? So when we do the power ranking. So, like, the fact, I think this top 8 kind of sums up, like, our respawns for our league, right? Like, in a way, right? Because we see Zorbs kind of number 1 on top of the other 5-1 teams. You know what I mean, right? Toronto, Miami, Detroit, East, right? All 5-1, but they're 9-2 in hardpoint. But again, you got to look at the roster and you see Zorbs. At the time, it was Zorbs and Potato, right? So I'm assuming this shall change as we go through
the rest.
Yeah, because we're gonna have a differently tired New Jersey team with Zin on it.
Yeah.
So
then we'll jump over to the S&D power rankings. We're gonna have Stanford up at the top here in S&D. Being
get out of here.
87.5% win percentage.
Get out.
1.24 KD.
Get out. I'm out of here.
Differential.
I'm out.
West Coast taking the second spot. Only put West Coast there because they're 5-0. You could technically argue East Coast should be number 2, which I can take. But I put West Coast there because they're undefeated. They have a 1.24 and a plus 14. East Coast being 7-2 at the third spot with a 1.
I just left the stream. I'll see you guys later.
With a plus 21 round differential.
No way. Keep going.
And then obviously you have Toronto in fourth with a 71.4% win percentage with a .97. The KD obviously struggling there for Toronto, going across the board. I saw the other team, Phoenix, having a 1.17 in S&D. And then Detroit, Miami. And then I have Las Vegas at the end there only because in the 3 matches they've somehow played, they have a 1.38. Obviously, some other matches didn't get punched in because of forfeit, cheaters, etc. Blah, 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 blah. But I figured with a 1.38 KD, Vegas should enter this 8 realm, especially from the matches that me and Fets seen them play the week. Outside of the ULF allegations, I figured they should slide in here at number 8. That probably will change next week. But yeah, this is your top 8 S&D teams after 3 weeks of play. Like I said, I think the only thing here that I would argue for myself is that East Coast goes up another one because they're 7-2. But I figured undefeated should mean something. But yeah, you're 5-3 in S&D. I also may have fucked that up too, Gary. So that's okay. If you're 5-3, then you definitely move up this list.
I Stanford number 1.
Fets is losing it right now.
And then you have West Coast number 2. Now, mind you, I thought East Coast would be. I knew East Coast was going to be top 3, but I think East Coast would be probably 2 or 1. Stanford being at 1.
Well, they were 7-0.
And that goes in
last night. I had to fix it. I had to put their 1 loss in there and fix their win percentage.
I mean, it's impressive, and that's what Stanford is going to be super impressive, right? Because we Neslo certain things, right? Certain teams just Neslo. When we have Stanford doing this kind of shit, this could be very impressive. Now, they weren't really on the hard point. So now we're here having them again, sorry, Paris was last year. This year, again, but they were a pretty solid S&D team last season. So now we're here. Number 1 S&D West Coast. Taking number 2.
Put in here because
right?
Because it's kind of the way that me and Fets' stat sheet is worked out. Some of the averages are based on games played. So if I just put in the forfeit win, it fucks up the average for kills and stuff. Because obviously, sometimes you lose the kills and shit too. So it all gets fucked up. So yeah, I'm gonna try to add a tab in for Major 3 for forfeit wins. So it can all be legit put in there. But that's
it's good to see again. Phoenix is here again. So Phoenix has been here back to back, 7-6. I think that's interesting to see. Detroit down, but if they're 5-3, they could probably move up. I expect Detroit to kind of clean up their. I think they've been recently, so I think they're going to be up here. I think they're going to finish top 4 in this regular season.
From 4 to
Miami,
7,
is interesting as well.
4 and 7, I can see this changing next week a lot. Like the from 4
yeah,
to 7,
I think Detroit moves up. Yeah, I think Detroit moves to the top 4 100%. Toronto was going to be up there as well. We got to watch West Coast and Stanford as we do. And then before the move to Overload, I think Miami being up there is a plus. We didn't really see much of Miami and S&D as much last season. So
we might have lost Fets. Did we lose Fets then? Fets? Where'd he go? Okay, I'm still here, so that's fine. And I know the stream's still going, so we're chilling there. So we lost Fets for a second. I'm sure he'll be back momentarily while he was ranting on there.
Sorry, yeah, Zin just booted me from the VC, so like. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know, my console just something happened. I don't know. I just randomly left.
You're good.
But like, I know for a fact Zin, one of you guys, someone pulled my wiener out or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
anyway, I sometimes have internet issues here too, so I was like wondering if I
never happens.
Checked the OBS, and I was like, okay, no, I'm still live, so that's
the
fine.
fact that I just got randomly booted out of a VCs, especially our VC, is pretty fucking insane. So, Zin, you can stop the nonsense, okay?
But anyways,
So Detroit and Miami being here, I expect Detroit to move up. I expect Toronto moved up. Phoenix could stay where they're at.
I think these top 3 teams are going to be here again next week. I mean, you can't get much better than that.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, second half ball the interconnected pools, for some teams it's not gonna matter. For some teams, they may even look better. I don't know. So it's gonna look interesting. That's what I'm saying. This is why it means something. This is why this shit means something. Like when you look at the regular season, every game counts in a way because we see this. Clout and I look at this and we're like, okay, we know who to look at for. West Coast again coming right back up, 5-0. East Coast again should have a good S&D tonight against Bermuda. I think but unless they're playing on a certain map, right? Then you're gonna have Dylan on, or AKA EXO on Bermuda play much better, right? Like you gotta look. It's all about map pool oriented. You know the way they've been playing on certain days. If they have a good rest, so like those are the things that you just gotta look out for. But this, I expect Toronto being top 4 is a very good thing. Is a very good thing because. Look, they're gonna start shooting. I promise you that.
Yep.
Watch how Detroit gets up to top 4 as well. This is gonna be this is gonna come down to it in the power rankings as we go through. But let's hop over to Overload.
Jumping over to Overload, we have Stanford taking the reins once again for number 1 in Overload, being 4-1 with a 1.24 KD, averaging 5.2 points a game with plus 16. New Jersey coming behind them, being 3-1 with a 1.07, 5.3. And then from 3 to 7, everyone can have their own opinions here. It was very hard to tell. I try to base these mostly on what's on here and what I weigh more. Usually I try to weigh KD more than points per game in the plus minus. So you can argue a lot from 3 to 7. This was like the hardest one I had to decipher for 3 to 7. Actually no, 3 to 8. I'll put Bermuda down there too because probably not because they have a 0.9 KD, but from 3 to 7 here, you can kind of argue any of these. Obviously, now as weeks to come by, now it'll make more sense, which is kind of why I don't like doing them early on, is what I'll say, because I feel like it's too congested right now to be able to tell certain teams apart. So I think I have 1 and 2 for Stanford and New Jersey right now, and then you can argue 3 to 8. But this is coming down the middle, 3 and 8. And, I will say in Overload that after those top 6 teams, every other team in Overload right now is in the negatives. There's only those 6 teams that you see on screen now that have a positive KD are the only ones so far in Overload that have a positive KD. Obviously, that's excluding forfeits. But yeah, no, that's it. Miami could move up as well. Yeah, I kind of glazed over their 1.19 after I punched in there. Miami probably could be up at 3. As well.
I don't even know.
This one here, I can take some heat from it.
Is this Stanford like they play Savashi and BT has played 2 games together, right?
So that's with So this is the Stanford team with Gelato and all the other transitions, right? This is from the last 3 weeks altogether, right?
Dude, did they win both their overloads? I don't even know. That's a question and a half. I'm not even gonna know. But
yes, I think.
If they did, if Stanford, they
Nesloed Paris 3-2, and then the only map they dropped to Texas was the S&D, so they won the Overload there too. So they went 2-0 in Overload.
Okay, so then this is a legit stat. This is legit.
Yeah, Savvy.
So Stanford is the. Oh my goodness.
New Jersey, you can say because they had a roster change. Yeah, I can understand if there's a lot of different opinions about this Overload power ranking. I agreed to that. I told myself that when I was punching it in, because it's very hard.
I think the biggest thing on this is Phoenix being again still on the.
I mean,
the other team again, which is funny because last title. On BO6, the one team that was kind of there throughout all modes was Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So like now we see a kind of common theme with certain teams that they will be top 8 in the same category, right? Sorry, in the 3 modes, right? So Hardpoint, S&D, Overload, they're all there. Whether they're 7, 6, and 5 or 7, 3, and 2, right? I think the coolest thing about this is. Well, the coolest thing is they gotta be Stanford. That's insane. That's so fucking insane, dude. I can't believe it. I mean, listen, like I said, I'm all about the tandems, but it shows that BT and Savashi are doing something. This proves it. They have done something where they can come alive. They can come alive in their division, which is going to be interesting.
Here now watching, if there's some mixed opinions on them over the next couple weeks now, when there's more matches get played, obviously it'll clear up a little bit more, and it'd be more, they'll even out way more, which is why I didn't want to do it early on, because you're gonna have teams that are 2-2, and it'd be really hard to put them in a top 8 right now.
Oh.
But yeah, as for week 3 and going forward, those are the Clout power rankings of the week. Week 4, I expect a lot of change, especially in the S&D and Overload going forward.
And shout out Clouter for putting that together, man. He works hard on them. The IP that he has on the stat sheet is impeccable. That's my man's man. I mean, and shout out to everybody that works on the back end for the D League stats as well. For us, yeah. The 2 people. Should we shout them out? I guess we could probably shout them out. Yeah, Colin and Ruler. Yep, Colin and Ruler. Appreciate you guys for doing the D League stats for us.
On the back end.
Shout out Fets for kissing my tip. I would do more than that. That's the funny part. But anyway, those graphics. I mean, Mars on Miami did this graphics. Huge graphics for Easter. So shout out Mars for helping us out with the graphics there, but really Clouter just kind of
admins too on the CXP too, man, for giving us the information that we need to carry it.
Oh hell yeah! Oh my goodness,
and me and Fets are more than happy to shout out the D League pod that is starting on the download too. Shout out to those boys, D League was something me and Fets always talked about doing, but we like sticking to the main league. And obviously for anyone that's on the D League teams coming in listening to the pod every week, if you get elevated up to the main league for next major, we'll definitely give you guys the full rundown. Obviously the teams like East Coast, West Coast, Plattsburgh, they're all getting the notice now after coming up from D League. So we're super stoked to see what D League teams come up for next major and make an impact in the main league as well.
Hell yeah! I was gonna say that was my concern, right? Like how long is Stanford gonna last?
Stanford was
based on the committee, I don't know.
Stanford was 0-7 in hard points up until last night. They were 0-7 in hard points
with their S&D and their Overload. They're Nesloing. I don't know if the streets. Oh, by the way, Savashi changed his name in Discord to The Streets, so he's doing a CXP watch party tonight, and he wants to know what the streets say. So that's another. But think about it. We use that as some of our intel. The streets say, the people say. I like that. I like that idea.
Before we jump
kind of cool.
My favorite segment of the show that will inevitably close us out on the night. I did get a DM from the commish himself who said he had this done up. Once again, as everyone does know, on behalf of the COD Stats, they've partnered with us with CXP to give us more in-depth stat lines and makes it easier for us to do stats, and you can see the team stats going through all the websites and stuff. So obviously on the website right now, you can see the upcoming matches for tonight. We can give them a little preview here. According to E as well, as you see there in chat, you can wager on these upcoming matches as well. But here it comes down here. You can have the whole rundown of Detroit-Miami tonight. The map win percentage is currently in favor of Detroit with 71%. And then obviously Detroit has the higher team KD right now with a 1.80, a 1.08. And then you can see the roster down below as well with Kaori rocking a 1.5, Nuck rocking a 1.4, and all the maps they've played as well. This is also very interesting. This is my first time looking at this. But yeah, you can see all the head-to-head matchups. Obviously, these guys are playing at 9 p.m. EST tonight. And then jumping over to East Coast Bermuda, who's also playing. It's looking like all in favor of East Coast right now with a 68% map win, 5-1, 17-8, 1.0 team KD from them. Skizzy dropping big numbers over here as well. Rigo dropping a positive record. So, shout out to COD, the COD Team Stats site, for giving us the partnership to do all this. Obviously, you can come in here and see all the standings with all this bullshit, and you can look at all the stuff going through. and see like the Hall of Fame and who's holding records right now if it decides to load. Yeah, so you can see Skizzy's still leading with the most kills in a single map. Oh, dude, Sistu has that record. We watched that game, Feds. That New Jersey one. It was 202 seconds.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
We watched that.
Oh, this is cool as hell.
You can see all the records in there as well, man. So super huge up to those boys there as well. Over for the CXP, the higher ups of the CXP for putting that together for all of us. But at all in all, I think to close off our show, we always end off as he's lighting up his blood for another fucking Elite Fets A-list. When he's ready, I'm gonna let him take it away for this week's Fets A-list. Floor is yours, Fetty.
Before I get in there, I was trying to do the little bit effect and the flicker and the lighter and the mic, but I don't know if that works very well. But I will say this before a couple things. Yeah, shout out to the top admins just helping us out, staff and everybody. Love you guys. Clouter, guys, you guys gotta fucking shout out to my boy, man. You guys just gotta love this man. Clouter is the chillest guy in the CXP, hella vibey. He's the one who does this setup here. From once we started till now, I mean, unbelievable job. I love working with you. Sooner or later, the only way to go is up, or we're gonna get it there, man. So just shout out to my boy Clouter. But I'm gonna say this before I get to this A-list. I did not know. Like, I did this A-list I actually did it last week. I think, right? Last time I sent it to you, Clouter.
Send it to me early.
I kind of changed it really. Once we get into the first one, it's going to change a little bit, but really, essentially, I think this is a solid top 5 for what it is now. But here we go. I mean, I don't, and this does not take into account the new movement. So we're gonna hop right into it. And I think it makes sense because of the stats we just showed you in the power rankings. But let's get right into it. Number 5, it's going to be New Jersey. Why is it New Jersey? Why New Jersey? Listen, I know they just changed their roster. Potato's out. And honestly, I texted Clouter before this, and I was like, bro, I kind of want to put West Coast up there. I kind of do. Based on the record and what they've been showing so far. Fortunately, I realize a lot of these point changes happen when I confirm, because what I do, I gotta publish and send it to my editor Clouter, and I'm just 3 days later I just get changes, and I like New Jersey because they lead and they have the hard point, they have the overload, but the S&D hasn't been there. But I like also West Coast in this as well. You could possibly, last week I tried to put Plattsburgh in here. I gotta see another game because that Las Vegas one just kind of buffered a lot of stuff. So right now, I like New Jersey if Potato and Zords was still playing, right? Now, I think with Casper, I think they can still do it. It's just, I don't know how Casper is playing with Zin. I've sat here, I got high and I thought about it. I'm like, how are they gonna play together? It's Zin. How are we gonna do this? They lead the numbers. Zorbs is the franchise player, and I think when we think of sports, when we think of franchise players, we got to take into account the prowess, the pressure, the fluidity they have around the map, the knowledge they have around the map, and I think Zorbs takes it, right? But now you have a whole different roster. He's forced to do more. I don't know if I've seen enough Zorbs to step up and elevate, but he can get there. I feel like at times there's flashes of it. But right now, I think Casper, finally seeing him on a new team, leaving the OVO. It would have been nice to see Casper on the starting OVO list, but he's not there. He's here on New Jersey. He's back here. It sucks to see Low Sleeve, but now Zorbs is kind of think about it for a second. You're Zorbs. You're Johnny Cod. You have this recognition, but you're not the owner of the ship. So I'm hoping Zin and Zorbs are talking, right? there's got to be some ownership relationship there. There has to be. And I don't know if I'm Zen, but it's Zen. So that's the problem I think I have there. That's why I was like, maybe throw West Coast in there. But New Jersey has been showing the prowess on Overload. They've been improving on Overload. They've been improving on Overload since BO6. We have them on the respawn like no other, right? It's just the S&D, right? Multiple map 5s. The most map 5s in the CXP right now. And I don't know if that tells you that they don't normally close out. They had trouble closing out. They started 0-2 in the beginning of the season, but now we have them here finishing some of the... Oh, well, actually, I think Detroit just beat them 3-2, so they're not finishing. They're actually just going to map 5s, right? And the SND, they can't get it together. So I think the S&D is going to close them out. The S&D could make them fall out to go to 6, and I put West Coast there. Could be Bermuda too. Bermuda could be one. So there's a lot of. So you see how crazy and fluid the bottom 5, my bottom 5 could be. That's what I'm looking for, right? So it depends tonight on what I see with Bermuda ECB. If Bermuda puts up a good fight, they're right. I think they're right up there. If they win tonight, they're right up there on number 5. But let's go into number 4. And number 4, I got Toronto Frost. Why? Toronto Frost, the crazy thing about them is I think as a team at number 4, they have significantly improved. They have ameliorated their game to the point where I actually think they could take it. They have a chance to really do something. It becomes tough because I need to seek. I've been seeing the consistency out of Clouter, and I've seen the consistency out of Dizzle so far, and I love the move to Dizzle. And Danky, again, being there, I think he is on a different host, I think. So I know a lot of the times when I'm watching him, he's lagging a lot, but I know Danky myself. I physically brought him to the league. You know what I mean? Like, that is my homeboy. And I'm not gonna be biased here. I know he was actually rated a 5-pointer when he first came in here in BO6 because he hit Crim. And he just, he's, it's the rank situation where you get Crim because you have your help. But Danky is still a solid player. I think 2-pointer is a solid 2-pointer. We've seen him play enough where the league has ranked him at 2. And I think this is going to be something interesting to see him play. I think he's going to be doing really well. I mean, that's my homeboy. That's my Dank. That's my G. So the fact I see my homeboy playing on Toronto with everybody's my homeboy in here, but Toronto Frost has still have the pedigree. I will say this about Toronto. When it comes to S&D, you just play together. And that was the only thing I'll say about Toronto. Dizzle, again, I love, that's my homeboy himself, but he's got to stop playing outside of the team. He's got to make sure that he is staying with the team, playing the corner, playing the power positions that he's told to play, and Cope has to stay consistently nuclear alongside Cope. Because alongside Clouter, if Clouter can bring the complementary factor that we've been seeing since BO6, then we're going to have a very good Toronto Frost. And I love, again, they're right there, man. I think they're one of the best S&D teams. I know they're top 4 right now. I believe right now at S&D. Clouder could fact check me on that. I think from what I saw, but I think right now they look really good. Despite that PP game that I watched, other than that, they are right there just playing to speed and above speed everybody else right now. Especially that New York game. Like, after that New York game, that's why I say Brooklyn Nets, right? That is it. 3-1. KD, Kevin Durant, KD, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. New York Impact. 3-1. They lost to Toronto. Like, that's division game. That's the money I have it. So Toronto's got that. division. Let's go with number 3 because I'm holding up everybody's time. I'm just locked in right now. That's all. Detroit Rain. Now, it's crazy because Detroit just beat New Jersey 3-2. The problem is, and when I build this up, I think Detroit can still be a number 1 team. Everything from 3-1 is all a lottery pick, honestly, in my opinion, because of where we're at right now with numbers. But Detroit Rain, just because they lost to ECB. I don't know if they played Miami yet. I don't know if Detroit played Miami yet. I think they did. If not, they don't. That's tonight. That's tonight. 9 p.m. Right? So, damn, I might actually have to cast tonight, but I really can't. I might. Oh, we'll see. God damn. Nah, I can't cast, man. We're going to have to find some. Whoever casts that match, you got to have to do it. But, yeah, Detroit Rain, I mean, tonight is going to be the deal breaker if they break 3. Because if you lose the ECB 3-2 early in the season, by the way, and then you lose to Miami, I think the 3rd spot sits for Detroit, right? And then we got to see Detroit Toronto, and that's how I base my kind of top 5, right? But right now, this is a throw up because I also think that like Toronto could also beat Detroit. I think Toronto could also be a lot of these top players, but right now Detroit has been looking absolutely phenomenal. They're my favorite team to watch right now. Besides Miami and this other top, because this is also when I put into my A list, it's also my most favorite team to watch. Right, I put that into my list. My top 3. I mean, they could be my favorite of all time. They're so fun to watch. I mean, Kaori on the map with Reflectory. When you have Kaori, aka Sumo, the Great White Slayer, coming out here with help, it is actually the most fun thing to see. You could actually see him flourish and extend plays and be players where it's amazing to see him play. Alongside with Reflectory being a steal out of 4 is insane. Alongside with Skips and Float. Now, Float has flashes of him being great, right? I think a lot of times Float can struggle where he has those moments where he plays to his point, but he really has flashes of where he overextends and plays really well. It all depends on how the team plays as they're playing in the moment. So they have to not just over tweak. They have to just stay calm. And I think this goes down to Toronto, New Jersey, not so much because it is a new roster. I think Toronto plays the same way where they have to just, okay, you just got to slow down. Let's just not over tweak. Just play against our nerves, right? Like that's really what it comes down to. And I think that's where you're going to have Skips flourish very well in Detroit. We saw what they did in OVO 3-0. I mean, that was a murder scene. I mean, I dug up you could dig up your best friend in the grave. That's how bad it was. Like that's how bad Detroit beat OVO, you know? And it's harsh to say, but goddamn, that is really what it comes down to. That was rough. So Detroit is really, really good. And they could win this championship. Hands down, number 2. Let's hop right into it. Miami Vice Demons. Now, tough loss against East Coast Bandits. And Mars, you know what's crazy is, I think, from my knowledge, Nuck and Mars had like over a 1-2. Or close to over a 1-2. And Skizzy was the only one that actually went positive here. Would they go 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, something like that? I'm just kind of estimating here. He actually came out here, and that was a good game. I was upset because it was a game like this tonight, and I couldn't cast it. And I didn't even get a chance to watch VOD, but based on the numbers, I know from what I've heard that East Coast Bandits was up 2-0, and then Miami came back and really just pushed into him at 5. That's what you want, and that's what it was in Miami, right? Like you can never count out Miami, even though they lost. They still have games to play. I have Nuck as my favorite for the MVP. I love East Coast because I know they can play, but Miami, again, that's my homeboy. These guys play really good together. I love Mars on the team. He has been exceptionally better. I mean, probably the biggest, could be one of the biggest free, I think, in my opinion, top 3 signings, I'm not going to lie, because of the fact that he has been dropping consecutive near 1-1s, 1-2s. So he's been playing really well, and I think he's gonna be a great fit for Nuck. Since has improved, and Miami's been playing better. Mars is a silver. Yeah, he's got to be up there. Like, but signings. I mean, the whole Detroit roster is like insane signings, right? But then, like, I think it's like everything Toronto did for signings, right? I think about like New York, right? And New York is like you sign like you signed Splashy, Gelato, and Los at one point. Like that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. At one point, whether they're on the team still or not. So I don't care what anybody says. Oh, we're not a super team. No, like you guys have signed names in the headlines. Okay, Miami Vice Demons. They do the less work. They make it so easy for you. Nuck says this is what Nuck does. Ready? See, major ends, right? Oh, re-sign this guy. Oh, we'll just add this one dude. And then like halfway through the season, we'll trade one dude, and we got another guy, and then like they're still 5-1. They don't do shit. They keep it so simple, and I love these guys. They play well, but I mean, I'm holding you guys up. I like Miami. I still like this. I think Detroit could still be number 2. I think any of these guys could be number 1 till the end of the season. But the problem is, at number 1, we have East Coast Bandits because they have beaten both these teams. East Coast Bandits have beaten Miami and Detroit 3-2. They have played a total of 10 maps against the number 2 and the number 3. Why is it East Coast Bandits? Because that makes more sense. That's logically the reason. If you put into consideration the season Skizzy has been having lately, alongside Rigo Cod and Rose, who actually just got traded or just went to Paris, and Evo, again, East Coast pedigree transferring over to Paris, half of that, because the East Coast Bandits of Clouter and I watched early on in the season. It was with Evo, Rose coming in for the ESA for New Jersey, right? Like shit like that. So now you see shit like that. Evo in Paris go take their talents to Paris. They're in the EuroLeague. They're chilling with Burke. Now Burke's got to make sense. So like that, it's unbelievable, insane. Why? Like it's so crazy to see shit like that, right? That's why Chloe and I do this shit, because we get to talk about the severity of those types of pressures where you could have, old ex teammates that got him really into the D League. And Skizzy came over to play with Rose through Major 1. They talked about it. And right, Skizzy left Texas. He went over to East Coast, right? And then now Rose is like, bro, like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I love y'all. It's all mutual, right? They're all like, yo, what's up? Like, I'm going to go to Paris. He goes to Paris. Evo went to OVO first, and then Capshot did some gray area shit where, like, I don't know, he redropped him. I don't know. Went to Paris. I couldn't have thought of a better move. Now Burke just has to push something together with Paris, but BVD just make it work. And I think it could work, but it just has to be, again, a leader over there. But now East Coast Bandits, I mean, Skizzy in the MVP race alongside Nuck, alongside Zorbs, Cope, and someone else that I'm missing. But that's your MVP runners. Skizzy is right up there with them. East Coast has shown that they can compete since the D League coming up. Prometheus has put together a roster with Skizzy and these guys. Skizzy has been the franchise player. So, like, I'm going to come back to the same glossary word is franchise player. This is what you have. Skizzy leading the way for East Coast Bandits. They are the number one team right now because they have beaten their division wide out with a 3-2 on both teams, right? Also have a 5-1 record, and their S&D is prowess. They're right up there, kind of get up there with the other modes. But I think tonight, Bermuda, man, like if East Coast loses to Bermuda, that's a big question. But I think East Coast still plays to what they know and play really well. I think Bermuda is going to be the one that's the underdog here if I would have to put a money line on it.
100%.
So I think that's my top 5. Clouter, I know it was a little longer than usual, but
that was a little lengthy. But you got.
I had to explain. I had to explain.
You got through it. You got through it.
I had to explain shit because it doesn't. You have to understand where I'm coming from.
I know, man.
Listen, man, it's just man. You know what I mean. Like that's where I come with the top 5. This is real shit. We do this together. You know, so this is
it's my favorite segment of the whole show, man. I fucking
we do it, I like it. I like it. But like, you could still put. I think Toronto is still comparable to any of those teams. I still think Jersey kind of is. You know what I mean? So like, I think. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But that's it.
Right, but I do.
I agree with you.
I mean, this. I gotta see tonight. And then we have Miami and Detroit tonight. There's 2 big games tonight in our opinion right now. 8:30 and 9 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be looking crazy. I don't know if I'm going to cast. I got some work I got to do, but I don't know if I'll try to. But East Coast already asked me, but I don't even think I can make the 8:30. So I don't know, but
we're other than that, we got Wednesday night. Anyone who's
Wednesday night, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Time night. So anyone got any big matches to play Wednesday night? Hit us up. We'll be there.
You guys play primetime Monday Night Football.
We wanted to switch it over, but
I mean, I could after May 15th. I could.
Oh, that's true.
If you want to do that,
I mean, we could. Yeah, it's something we can talk about for sure.
I don't know, but that's a little close.
That's it for me. I think we covered over everything for most. We're running on 2 hours here now, so we'll cut it short. And you're good, Kara, man. We're gonna get a Detroit match on the.
No, you're good. You're good. I just
time hour for 100%. We want to see you boys play. But I got
it's. I'll have you tabbed up. We'll have you tabbed up for sure at some point. Like whoever casts. You know, get a good caster if you can, like someone that's really good.
I want to shout out all the subs today, man. Float, I think Kib definitely gifted some subs. I don't know who else gifted a sub.
Yeah, Kib. I think Float's Prime sub.
I think Float did.
Yeah, Float with the Primey. Float with the Primey, yep.
Yeah, I appreciate all the follows, too, that you boys dropped today. I had a raid in there from someone earlier, so, shout out to all the people that popped in today. And, I seen the chat bumping today. We had a heavy lineup of matches this week as we enter that midway point through the season. Me and Fets are psyched for the back half of the season, and we should be back here next week, same time, 5 p.m. EST.
Before you leave, before we leave tonight, Dub Show, thank you, Dinky. Before we leave Toronto, before we leave, Clouter, predictions on the games tonight. Bermuda.
East Coast.
ECB, real quick. Just a series. And then Detroit.
3-1 ECB. I love Bermuda, but I think it'll be 3-1 ECB, and I think I'm going to have it 3-2 Detroit tonight.
Okay. I'm going to say 3-0 ECB. And then I'm going to say 3-2 Detroit. I think Detroit wins tonight. I'm going to say I think Detroit wins tonight.
Matt 5, Ryan 11.
Yep.
On our seats.
You have Detroit as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Detroit wins tonight. I really do. All right, I think that's it for me. That's all I got to see.
Yeah,
now you know the predictions.
We'll be back here again next week, 5 p.m. EST on Mondays. Obviously, the answer we put up in Discord. We appreciate all you guys for pulling up, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Love you guys. Peace.